What the wait, what are you what's going on? What the fuck? Okay, so I will start off by saying I've never played the original Yakuza 3. I played all the other games of this in the spin-offs, but this is the one I never really touched. So it'll be me looking at this game from the outside in, like first time, as well as what they did in the remake itself. So like I said before, I never played the original 3. When I started my Yakuza journey, of course, I started with I had like the first few games and all that, and I had actually on my PS3 I had I can't remember if it was 4 or 5 on the PS Plus. I remember I had one of them, but I couldn't play it because I didn't have the memory. And then so I went ahead and got a bigger hard drive, and then I played that one. And then I played. I played 4 and 5 more, but I can't remember which one I bought, which one I had already. Anyway, I thought of getting Yakuza 3, but then I heard a lot of meh things about it, so I never really touched it after that. The closer it came to release date, I did hear more and more things that the original wasn't really great at, so I'm kind of glad I did wait and just decided to go ahead and get this. Or it was either get this or not play it at all, because I had no plans of playing it. Overall, the consensus is that 3 did age the worst. So this what really did that need that entirely new coat of paint. If you have the original 3 or remastered yet, probably don't need to get one. I mean that's your own choice, but I'd say if you have it already, that it's not gonna reinvent everything. But for someone like me who didn't have it before, I'd say it's worth a buy at least. It's a reason for me to go. For me personally to finally get it. If you don't have enough motivation to really get it, then I mean, sure, screw it, whatever. But the fact that Dark Ties came with it was incentive for me to get it as well. That was another reason why I think if it was just a remake, I probably wouldn't have gotten it, but then Dark Ties kind of did draw me in. I had a feeling that it wasn't gonna be this massive expansion, but I was like, that's still an interesting idea. I want to give it a shot. Okay, now of course the combat. When the combat is honestly a bit repetitive, and I won't deny that. Like usual, Kiryu has the Dragon Dojima style for one-on-one stuff and typical bruiser type. This time they added another style. The name's blanking on me, but it's pretty much all weapons. Like every attack's different weapons, so there's variety in that. I use that when at first I wasn't sure when to use it, but then I noticed it had all these like area of attacks, area of effect attacks and everything. So I was like, may as well use it for big crowds, and there's always big crowds in this game, so like it worked out that way. I felt like it was button mashing though, I'm not gonna lie, and most time I kind of just press whatever. When I did buy more moves for that style, I did actually notice like they had a little more depth than I thought. I'm not saying it was required, but it was there. Even at the end of the game though, I didn't feel like it had too much to it, but it had the potential, I guess you could say. Now, I haven't played Judgment in a while, or Lost Judgment. I remember I had fun with those. But I remember in general, I remember while playing this, missing even the wealth attack gameplay the most, which is weird. That's a turn-based game where again, with the exception of some moves that aren't turn-based at all, but I wasn't even trying to compare them, but that's how I felt when I was using this. I was like, you know what, I kind of prefer that style. And I only played 2 games of that, and I kind of prefer it. Maybe like if like it just wasn't fleshed, like it's not like this kind of wasn't fleshed out enough. I'm not sure, but yeah. And now Dark Ties combat, it was also a bit lacking, but I did see some potential there. So like if they improve on something like that in the future, that's actually something I want to see more of. Overall, I feel like combat, like this game does, at least it's serviceable, does the job, but doesn't try to be as good as some other games. And I love the Yakuza 0 and Judgment styles and everything. But to be honest, I remember like in Yakuza 6, I kind of felt this is just a very, very meh and kind of crappy style. I wasn't drawn in. I love the game, I love this franchise, but I kind of felt that way. So, you know, I'm not gonna say turn-based was the way, because Lost Judgment and Judgment proved that it doesn't have to be. But I'm kind of glad that they took a step back so they could do other stuff. Or so maybe it's just like, I don't know how long they took to like work on the style exactly. So maybe that was the problem. I'm not sure, but it definitely needed like a bit more to it. But if you want to brawl, this is your game. It's serviceable. It's not bad. It's just that it can be so much better. Now, I have seen some say that this is a bit of a filler story, and I'm not going to deny that it kind of is. But at the same time, I don't mind it in a sense. It shows Kiryu out of his normal element, like just taking care of these orphans, like building like bonds between these like children that have nothing, and like kind of relating to them, making their lives better, and pretty much just doing what he set out to do. Not in the Yakuza anymore, not in the underworld anymore at all. Just be the dad, uncle, whatever you want to call him. And I kind of enjoyed that. On the flip side, I do think the main antagonist was great, but he would have been better in a different story. Like he fit in the story fine. It's just that they were like he would have used them better in a different timeline or something like that, kind of thing. And the way he thought, the way he felt, his motivations, they're all good. They fit in perfectly well with this story. It's just that I guess I'm saying that they could have had him in a better story, is what I'm saying. Just not to waste them pretty much. Now, the only thing I really hated about this, though, is the end. Not even the end itself, or what happened, it's how it happened. This is a perfectly good example of why it's not about the idea, it's with execution that matters. And because it was a pretty stupid execution. They retconned 2 events of the original, I'm double checking everything, and once again, it's the way they did it that kind of annoyed me. Like the first thing that they retconned, I would say, if they did it a different way, I would have been fine. And then the second way, it's like second thing they retconned was like they're using all these words and like all these like explanations of why this is happening, why this is not happening and stuff, and it kind of felt like you're saying a lot of shit, but you're not meaning it. You don't mean anything. Like you're using big words to confuse people and sound like you're deeper than you are. So that kind of left me a bit of like a bad taste in my mouth, and so I'm kind of glad that I had Dark Ties, because that was a bit of palate cleanser for me. Yeah, it's kind of like at the end, yeah. Now, Dark Ties is different. It allows you to see the origin of one of the characters, Mine, who's one of the main antagonists. It shows what he did way before the game started, how he joined the Yakuza, what he did when he first joined, how he started forming the opinions he did have, and even though you saw some of his origin in the story itself, this this shed a little more light on like on his inner thinkings and everything because they like sometimes when he was talking to people they show what he really thought and it wasn't like something that really changed the game. Especially because like he didn't change his opinion on things, mostly because this stuff was happening before the game started and everything. But it was interesting to find out like how he's like came to feel certain ways about certain people and certain things, and it's one of those times when sure you can disagree with them, but you see where they're coming from. Overall, the story for him is about 3 hours long. And with other content he gets, it adds a few extra hours. Before the game came out, I did a few things. I saw a few things like saying it'll be as long as Manu erased his name. And that was like kind of like I can't remember how long it was. That game was like it was a short game, but then like nowhere near as short as this. I don't know if that was a PR thing or if it was just like people like spreading misinformation about that. I don't know. I can't remember where I saw it myself. Even like the searches I kept seeing that comparison too, so I don't know where that came from. If they got off that information, I probably would have been mad. But I just went in expecting like extra stuff. And I also even checked days before the game came out, days after the game came out, just to see what I saw, like how long it would be. And then I was seeing videos online just showing like full playthroughs of like 3 or 4 hours long. Sometimes a little bit shorter, sometimes a bit longer. So I had my it was ready in my mind. It's a take this long. That's all. Like if this was DLC, this is like it's not a standalone game, but this is closer to like DLC expansion maybe. And so honestly, that's what it was. So if you treat it that way, you should be fine. And it would be a great addition that way as well. And here you go with the meat of most Yakuza games, the sub-stories. The original 3 had about 100 sub-stories, and while I don't know like the story with all that, it got knocked down to about 30. Now what I have read is that it was a quality control issue where like some of the sub-stories were either repetitive or they weren't that great, so like they chopped it down. Like if that's true, like more power to them. From the sub-stories I played, they did seem unique and had a lot of variety, so I'm not too mad about that. There was a decent amount of them, like 30 is like fine. Like some like 100, like there's some Yakuza games where you just like walk around every corner and there's another cutscene, and sometimes you're like, I just wanted to go to the store. Like sure, like I'm not saying a lot of sub-stories are bad, but sometimes I think it was like Yakuza 0 that was like that, and even like Yakuza, at least Yakuza 0 I remember at least that. So, which is like, so when I played Yakuza Kiwami, which is remake 1, it had almost no sub-story. So when I played that, I was like, I'm so surprised at how few sub-stories there are. Anyway, what I did not enjoy was when crap was made mandatory. For example, there's a start of one chapter where like you get introduced to this girl in a biker gang, and then the goal is to like recruit like 2 other girls, and then I do like a rumble and stuff. While annoying, that's standard for the series where like you introduce like a whole new adventure that way, a whole new like side content that way. By putting in the main story, so the player like knows it exists. That I was okay with. Issue was the goal of that sub-story is to like take control of all of Okinawa by taking out these like smaller biker gangs, then going after the big 3, and then doing all that stuff. So first of all, like I kind of ignored the bike gang stuff for a while, because at least like for the very first start of it, the only way to like getting new characters is to like walk around the city, then like beat up rival gangs, and then get new members that way. Later on, some more characters start getting like accepted like through sub stories and like story and all that stuff. So that was fine, but the thing that annoyed me was like there was one chapter when like I'm leaving, then like Q said, I can't remember if he said that or I don't remember how the game presented it, but I had to do all of the Okinawa, the like biker stuff, all of it, and then like so I already took down one of the big three by that time. But I just cause I felt like it, but I had to like take out like a few more gangs plus stuff leading up to those gangs, and I was just annoyed because my plan was just, oh, let's go on and go to Tokyo and get Kamurocho and like finish some more story stuff. No, the game said, screw you, you're staying here to do the stuff that's unrelated at all to the story. And I was like, what the fuck? And I'm just not a fan of that. That was also the day I was planning on finishing the game. I did finish the game that day, but it just really stopped me. In fact, actually, at the start of that very stream, I did play some biker stuff, and then I was like, okay, that was for warm up. Then then later on, it said I had to take care of all this, and I have no choice. So if I was like, God damn it. And in Dark Ties, that same thing happens. Like, the sub-story version of that is kinda damage control, where you have to do good deeds and stuff like in order to like build up his rep. At first, when he gets introduced, you have to reach like level 2, which is actually kind of annoying to get to, honestly. When we reach that, and then at some point, like maybe 2-3 chapters in after that, they like, well, not 2 chapters, because they're 4 altogether, I think. So, well, like an hour or so later on, they say like I should increase his rep to level 6. I'm like, what? So I had to just grind to level 6, and that felt so forced to me. And there was also there's this Hell's Arena where it's instead of the Gladiator Arena like you do like in all games, actually even like Kirio's version, Kirio's story had a Coliseum too. Anyway, instead of that, it's like a roguelike arena type situation. And with that, like they introduced that in part of his story. I think it was before the damage control thing. I can't remember what. But anyway, then at one point he said, "Before we do this, I need to kill some time. Let's go to the Hell's Arena." I'm like, I had to beat a second level just for that. I'm like, I could have done that if I wanted to later on. I don't know. Neither of these were hard, just boring and annoying. So once again, it's not about them being hard. It's about them going out of their way to screw you over. Why the fuck am I doing that? Like, it's the entire purpose of side content is to be optional stuff for the player. That's why side quests exist. For extra stuff. It can make the game easier. It can make it game like a bit more fun. It could even change the ending of the game itself. But it's supposed to be optional. Whether you want to change the stuff, it's your choice. But making that stuff mandatory severely ruins some of the fun I'm having with them. And also reduces the agency of the story as well. Sometimes I'm like, I have to rush here to get this done. Oh, I have to do this first. No, don't do that, bro. Like that's I enjoy the series. But I'm gonna call him out when stuff gets called out. No. Now overall, this is apparently the start of a new game series, and they said Yakuza Kiwami 3 is gonna be the last one. And I guess it's basically like everything like with Ichiban, all that stuff that's in 7, 8, all that stuff, that's going forward to like their own like their same storyline as before. Nothing's changing. And then like their plan was not to just remake every game like of the series. You know, it was just it's kind of like if anyone has played Final Fantasy VII remakes, it's kind of like that, a revamp of a series that's also not just a remake. There's something more to it. So, like I mentioned, they changed the game ending. I'm not even sure if Kyr's gonna be the next protagonist, or they're gonna do some other like thing, or if they're moving away from something else, or I don't know what their plan is with it. But that also explains why some things in the end happened. Once again, the fact that it happened was an issue was how they did it. So I'm kind of curious if they're gonna keep some characters that were not in the original like 4, 5, 6 and all that, or if they're gonna just change the stuff a little bit, or if it's gonna make like or how this is gonna like butterfly effect like the entire storyline of the after Kiwami, because it's gonna be a whole thing. And still, there's more potential, and everything really depends on like I care depending on how they end up doing this. Like if they do a good, if they have a good strategy and everything, more power to them. If the next game sucks or just wasn't really thought out, well, I guess they screwed up. And especially, of course, if they can improve the combat, because I'm assuming they're going to use this as a way to um, keep like actual real time combat in the game, in the series, and not just turn based. Yeah, because Judgment was doing that before, but of course, the main character Judgment has the whole issue with his agency not letting him be on Steam, that'll kind of push the halt to new Judgment games. So and I guess they didn't go through with Kaito being the main character at all. So it really depends on what happens. They might just go ahead and use this as a new way to have Brawlers type series going on and everything. So I guess we'll see that in like maybe a year or two, maybe. These are not doing any remakes, and I think the only game to remaster is the zombie game, as far as I remember. So maybe the next, so unless they do another spin-off like the Pirates in Hawaii, I think 9 might be next year. And then after that, we'll see what they do with this storyline. So honestly, in my opinion, it's wait and see. But it's not this is not an important game to have. You if you want to give a shot, do. Especially it's not like a full priced game like they have nowadays. So that's good idea. That's a good thing, but it's it's kind of just there. Dark Ties is nice. In fact, if they do something like Dark Ties in the next game, I'm all for it. If actually that's something could you have like maybe an antagonist to yeah, actually I can't remember if I like the antagonists of Yakuza 4 or 5. They were just assholes. But yeah, just maybe like find a way to make the anti-hero or anti-villain or whatever the main character in the next one, or maybe people that were introduced in Yakuza 4 could have different roles. Like Sajima was in there, maybe like the whole game would be like about something with him, and I don't know. We'll see where they go. What are you doing? What was that? What?